Copies of the minutes have been included in the meeting packets. Any revisions or corrections necessary to those minutes? If not, is there a motion to approve? Motion by Martins, is there a second? Second by Kelbach. Members in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? None are opposed. The minutes are approved. Item number 2 is a public hearing for review, possible action, and public comment regarding the 2019 local Edward Byrne Justice Assistance Grant. And we have Deputy Chief Barnes with us tonight to talk about that grant, which I think we apply for every year.
Correct. This should be pretty quick. This is a grant that the Sheriff's Department applies for with us as their partner. This year it's a little bit over $11,000. These monies would be used for what's called Gray Key, which is a software package that allows us to break into your phones, even if you have a super secret password. And we use that in excess of 100 times this year successfully in cases between the Sheriff's Department and the Police Department. The state is going to pick up the remainder of the cost for that annual subscription, and we're asking that you allow us to accept this grant.
Okay. And given that we're in a public hearing format, I'll conduct it. I don't know that we have anyone here to comment on it, but we'll certainly ask for the purpose of a public hearing. We'll declare the public hearing is now open for public comment and input regarding acceptance of a 2019 local Edward Byrne Justice Assistance Grant. Do we have anyone in the room tonight that wishes to comment on that item? And we'll ask 3 times. Anyone in attendance tonight from the public that wishes to speak to the Justice Assistant Grant item? Last call. Anyone who wishes to speak to the item? Seeing no public feedback, we'll close the public hearing at this time. Committee, is there a motion from within the committee to accept the grant? Motion by Kelbach, is there a second? Second by Martins. Further discussion or questions? Seeing none, members in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? None are opposed. That motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 3 is discussion and possible action on a sole source purchase of engineering and design services from Stantec for the First Street Corridor Trail. And we have the city planner, Brad Lentz, with us this evening to walk us through this. And he's passed out a drawing that you should have at your desks, rendering of the trail area.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. So yeah, the rendering I passed out was done by Stantec. They've been our consultant on the east side of the river, essentially for all the trail and environmental improvements that we've been doing over the last few years. So this was a sketch put together by them when we applied for grant monies. And we actually did secure 2 grants. One was from the DNR and one was from the county. And so what we're looking for now is to work with Stantec on the detailed engineering plans. And I submitted a sole source form for that. We discussed it as staff. We thought that Stantec was uniquely qualified for this project because, you know, they have done the other improvements in the area. We wanted this segment to match what's happening in the River Life area. They're using similar elements. It's not going to be quite as elaborate, but there's similar materials and treatments of the riverbank and stuff like that. So we thought that Stantec would be the best firm to do that with. We also thought that they would be able to do it the most quickly out of anyone. Again, we're looking for engineering and design of this segment. Basically numbers 1 and 2 on your rendering there. We had applied for the whole trail segment that you see on there, but we only received a portion of the grant funding. But with the money that we did get, we can do sections 1 and 2, and that's what we're looking for to move forward with the detailed design on that and do it relatively quickly because there are some time sensitivities with the grant monies that we got. So I guess we're looking for approval of sole source for Stantec for design of these 2 spots on the riverfront.
Committee members, any questions for Brad? If not, is there a motion to approve sole source?
I'll make that motion, Madam Chair.
Motion by Mr. Nutting. Is there a second? Second by Kelbach. Further discussion? Seeing none, members in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None are opposed. That motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 4 is discussion and possible action authorizing the hiring of outside counsel for the purpose of acquisition of 244 East Thomas Street through condemnation. And we'll switch to that item. There we go. And we have the Public Works Director and the City Attorney both with us. We've got some documentation in the packets discussing this matter. And I guess, Eric, do you want to, or Ann, do you want to just walk us through? We've got your staff memo in the packets, but just for the public who observes these meetings, give us just a synopsis and,
Right, so this area, so of course, we had done acquisitions of property along Thomas Street for the project. And this is a piece of property, it's landlocked. It was not needed for the Thomas Street corridor, but it is needed for, to reconstruct that failing wall and rebuild that wall, and then also have access to that wall for the future for maintenance of that wall. Currently, we're in the design phase or trying to get some finalized costs for the construction of that wall. We've applied to the DNR for a stewardship grant on that. Part of that grant requires us to own or have access, legally have access to the property. Currently, we do not. So we are proposing, we cannot find the heirs to this property. I think the last deed was in the 30s for this property. So our next step is to move forward with condemnation for this property. And that's what we'd like approval to do.
okay. And I see it, according to the staff memo, Ann produced a memo saying that we would like to retain local attorney Dan Varleen, who represents the city in a number of other actions relevant to the Thomas Street area and to right-of-way
Correct.
acquisition.
Yeah.
Committee members, do you have any questions for Ann or Eric? If not, is there a motion to approve the hiring of Attorney Varleen? Motion by Kelbach, is there a second? Second by Nutting. Further discussion?
Is the property currently being taxed?
No, actually, on our tax roll, it says 0, but I think there was a value put on it of $1,600, Ann, I think.
It is being taxed, but since 2017, but the tax bills are sent to the city of Wausau. Attention City Attorney's Office, which unbeknownst to me, I've been here 21 years, I've never seen them, and Lisa informs me that we get a big stack of them every year for all the unknown parcels in the city, and she's been instructed to send them back down to the finance department, and they pay them. So we have been paying taxes on however many there are unknown parcels. This unknown parcel, I believe, was identified in 2017, and it is assessed at $1,600.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right. Okay, so with a motion and a second, then on the floor, members in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? None are opposed. That motion carries as well. Thank you. Item number 5 is discussion and possible action regarding the memorandum of agreement for the FAA navigation, communication, and weather aid facilities. And we've got some documentation on that item in your packets as well. And this item comes to us, it looks like, from the airport. Let's see here. Okay, and it looks like, I don't think this came out of the airport committee, did it? It doesn't appear that.
It's just a memo from Mary Ann to the Finance Committee.
Okay. So this does not cost the city anything, but this allows the navigation, communication, and weather aid equipment to exist at the airport, it looks like. And this looks like this is a standard agreement that we've been party to for quite some time, apparently. That equipment's been down there for a long time. Does anybody have questions for Bobby on that item? If not, is there a motion to approve the agreement? Motion by Martins, is there a second? Second by Nutting. Further discussion? Seeing none, members in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? None are opposed. That motion carries. Item number 6, discussion and possible action regarding asphalt paving for the auto shop at First and Thomas related to the Thomas Street reconstruction project The location in question is 201 West Thomas Street, and we'll have Eric walk us through that.
So I did provide a short narrative on this.
Right.
The Finance Committee and the City Council did approve providing them a cost of $8,400 for asphalt. That was based on an estimate by the engineering department, and that included 2 inches of compacted asphalt. The owners of this property have gone out and received quotes to have it done. Either American Asphalt or the other one, Black Line Asphalt, said that they will do it, but only if 3 inches of asphalt, because they have heavier vehicles that drive on their tow trucks and
Sure.
and other vehicles. And so it does make sense for the additional $6,000, does make sense. We base that on, some of the other costs that we've had for blacktop, and it has to be put down on 2 layers versus 1, so there's additional labor costs involved there as well. So it would be up to the committee if they'd like to provide additional funds for that additional asphalt.
So what would be the final dollar amount if we did the 3 inches?
Well, we already approved 8.
Right, but I'm saying that, there's 6,000, for my records, please.
Right. I think the total dollar amount, like with everything, was $13,575. That was with, the TLEs, with damages and everything with the street project. This additional 6,000 would raise that to $19,575.
Okay. And we had talked before about the cost of relocation, which this owner did not opt for, which was substantially more expensive. So
Correct.
knowing that in our prior discussions, it was certainly our goal to make sure that the Thomas Street residents that were impacted were treated fairly. If the proper way to restore their blacktop is to get the proper thickness, I think that, at least I feel like that makes sense. What are your thoughts, committee members? Is there a motion to approve the extra 6,000?
I'll make that motion, Madam Chair.
Motion by Nutting, is there a second? Second by Kelbach. Further discussion or questions? Seeing none, members in favor signify by saying aye. Aye, opposed? None are opposed, that motion carries.
Thank you.
And that is the last item on our agenda tonight. This could be a record short finance meeting, I'm not sure, but with that, I'll accept a motion to adjourn. Motion by Kelbach, is there a second? Second by Martins. Members in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. We'll stand adjourned then, and city council will begin in this chamber then in 1 hour. Thank you.